What's up, everyone? Today I'm going to be doing my power rankings. Yes, there was football last night, but let's be honest, that game didn't really matter. Two teams that really suck. So we're gonna talk about this. Luckily, that game didn't matter, but I've been super busy, but still wanted to get this out for you guys. So we're gonna start at the very, very bottom at number 32. The Dallas Cowboys. I'm just kidding. I got friends who are Cowboys fans. They're not too far from 32, but of course at 32 we're gonna have the New York Jets. So been saying it. The Jets have they have problems. Case is horrible. Same old, same old. So they're moving on though from Sam Darnold, right? So it'd be interesting to see where he ends up. In his career, and I really hope that he goes somewhere that it'll fit his scheme, it'll fit his skill set. So really just hoping for Sam Darnold to bounce back. Next at number 31, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are another team who are just in that rebuilding phase. Don't know if Gardner Minshew is going to be their guy. I'm a big fan of Minshew. I hope he gets better. I believe he's just lacking some arm strength. So, and just, it's not the best team. Jaguars, though, still in that rebuild mode. 30, we have the football team. Again, another team just rebuilding, not doing too hot. 29, we have the Giants. The NFC East is horrible. Already two teams right here at 29 and 30. So the NFC East is not good. The Giants are not good. Not that good. Another team rebuilding. 28, we have the Cowboys, a team who's not rebuilding. And it's actually hilarious that these three teams are in a row. But I think this is how the standings will probably go with the football team at the bottom, and then the Giants, and then Cowboys, and then we'll talk about the Eagles very soon. But the Cowboys at 28, not rebuilding though. They have talent. They're just really, really banged up. Another thing people are worried about that we talked about is the coaching. So we're going to see how things go the rest of the season. But, of course, if you're a Cowboys fan, maybe looking... You still definitely have a shot at the division, but I don't think you can be too upset if maybe, they not necessarily tank, but if you guys start losing games, it's not that big of a deal. Just got a good draft pick, come back and compete next year, right? 27, this is hilarious. We have the Eagles. Staying in that division, it's just right there where I think the standings are going to go. I think the Eagles are going to make the playoffs this year, winning that division again, right? So yeah, that's pretty funny that they're all right here. That division is absolutely horrible. I will say it again and say it again. The NFC East needs to forfeit their playoff spot. Okay. Yeah, it's so bad. It is horrendous. Let's get out of the NFC East and we're going to move on to the AFC North. I kind of forgot where the Bengals are at. The Bengals are at number 26. Really just because of Joe Burrow. Like I always say, I freaking love Joe Burrow. He's so awesome. Dude, the Bengals could have beat the Colts. Joe Burrow's a big reason why they're even in those types of games with teams who I think are better than them. So Joe Burrow keeps the Bengals at that 26th spot. Number 25, we have the Falcons, who actually got a very giant dub against the Vikings. But, they're still not the most... they're actually not too... I was going to say they're not the most talented, but they actually are pretty talented. They just got to pull it together. And I think having that win, especially a win like that against the Vikings, who the Vikings are very inconsistent. They were trending up, but then they went back to playing how they did at the beginning of the season. But the Falcons are a team that could possibly trend up. So I'll keep them at 25 for now, but would not be surprised if they keep trending upwards. 24, the Colts, another team who are just, in my opinion, are okay. 24 spot, nothing too special. Not really liking what they're doing over there. Number 23, the Lions. The Lions, not actually doing too bad. The Lions are putting up points. They got a win against the Jaguars, playing the Falcons this week. That'll be interesting. I'm going to do my game predictions very soon. But yeah, the Lions, focus. The Lions aren't, they're not too bad. They're just, I think this is a good spot for them at 23. 22, Panthers are in the same boat at 22. I really like their team. I like the Panthers more than the Lions, of course. That's why I have them higher, duh. But yeah, I really do like this Panthers team. I think there's a lot of talent. I like what Teddy, not a lot of talent. I think there is some talent. I like what Teddy Bridgewater is doing, using Robbie Anderson and stuff. Mike Davis, I really like too. They should be getting McCaffrey back. So once McCaffrey comes back, they're definitely going to be trending up. I'm excited to see what the Panthers do once they do get him. 21 here. We have the Cardinals, a team who I thought would be a lot better by now. Yes, there's a lot of time still, but the way they show or the way they played in Week 1, they showed a lot of potential. They showed that they could score the ball and that Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins would be really crazy and insane together. Yeah, so the Cardinals, they lost to the Lions and the Panthers, but they beat the Jets and the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys super banged up. So I don't really know as of right now what to expect from the Cardinals, so I'm just going to assume they're not as good as they looked in the first week, and I think the first 2 weeks. Number 21 here, we have the Vikings. Now, I very easily, and I know everyone's going to say, I need to put this out there. Everyone talks about my ranking, says, hey, but this team beat this team, and they're above them. The way I look at the rankings is, first of all, like stocks, of course. That's what a lot of analysts. That's how they kind of do their rankings, as in their stocks going up and down or whatever. But for me, what you can mostly see it as is any team that's above another team. I think they're gonna win like 7 out of 10 times. So that's why I still have the Vikings at 20. I think it's very easy to look at that game and be like, hey, they didn't show up, because the Vikings were actually doing pretty well going into this game. That's why I thought they were definitely going to win. I said that the Falcons had a chance, and obviously, they destroyed them. But you don't really know what you're going to get from the Vikings now. You're either going to get like a really solid team, or you're going to see people wide open for touchdowns. So the Vikings or a team I'm going to keep my eye on, see exactly what, I just want to see their true identity. I don't really know what we're getting yet. Maybe, I'm assuming, yeah, it was just an off game, but they have played like that before, so we'll see where the Vikings end up. Yeah, going to keep an eye on them. 19, we have the Broncos. The Broncos playing better now with Drew Lock. They beat the Patriots. That was a major upset. Still have them at 19. For the Patriots, didn't play that good. So, and Cam Newton. I mean, it happens when, you kind of take a break. It's kind of hard to come back and just play like you're supposed to. So, Broncos at 19. 18, I'll put the Bears. People are still going to be upset at me for putting the Bears at 18, but they're not that good. The Bears are not that good, but I will say they know how to win games. Not a very talented team. The defense, yes, okay. Offensively, no. They know how to win, and they know how to keep games low scoring. That's what's impressive about the Bears. So you can be upset at me for having them at 18. Let me see the scores of their games real quick, though. I mean, their defense actually, that's what makes them good. And it kind of really helps Foles out because he's able to win these games like that. So the Bears, I'll still put them at 18. I really want to see them play against like a really good team. I mean, yeah, you could say against the Bucks, that was a good tell. But coming up this week, they have the Rams, so that should be another good tell. But the Rams also are another team who are kind of inconsistent with their play. But yeah, I want to see the Bears play like a pretty good team. Maybe like the Raiders or something. That'd be kind of cool to watch. Just off the top of my head. That's why I have the Bears though at 18. I don't think they're that good. I think they're still, that pretending team. Defense, of course, is good, and they've proven that. But I think you need to have a better offense to really be higher on this ranking. 17, we have the 49ers, not necessarily because of the players, because obviously we're banged up, but more so because of the coaching. And that is what keeps us in these games. Jimmy played better last week. We were running the ball pretty well, getting Kittle involved. 49ers, they're just a very well-coached team, and there's some nice tradition now with Shanahan being there, just improving and working with what we have. So I'll take the 49ers at 17. I think they could beat pretty much any of the teams below them, of course, and I'll never, not never, but this season it's going to just irk me so much that we lost to the Eagles. yeah, that was a tough game to win with what we had, but, it's fine. We'll take the 49ers at 17. 16, surprisingly, I think some people will be pretty surprised. I have the Texans, mostly because of Deshaun Watson. He's using the weapons that he has. He's playing a lot better now. They fire Bill O'Brien. I really like what I see. I'm excited to see what the Texans can do now. Really, I think they're truly trending upwards now because of the firing of Bill O'Brien. 15, I'm going to put the Browns. You could argue to put them lower, but the Browns, when they're on, they're on. It's just tough for them against, better teams. The Browns still are trending in a good direction, but as shown, they can't really beat good teams. So, the Browns, they are a solid team. They just don't have that culture that's so important that I've talked about before. And it's hard to beat these teams who have really shown themselves to be, playoff teams in the past and whatnot, because, that's just the history of that team. So the Browns, we're going to have to see how they play against other teams, maybe teams that aren't as good. Obviously, Steelers are one of the top teams right now, and the Ravens. We'll talk about the Steelers. I know people are excited to hear me talk about the Steelers. But yeah, Browns, we'll see. They just really need to get together if they want to compete. They've shown that they'll beat the teams who are worse than them. They just need to show that they can hang in there at least with top teams. 14, we have the Dolphins, who have proven they can hang with top teams. The only thing that worries me about the Dolphins now is that they're not, playing Fitzpatrick. I have a feeling that they will come back to Fitzpatrick if Tua isn't doing what they think that he was going to do. I have a feeling that Fitzpatrick will be a starter again. Of course, I could be completely wrong, and Tua can actually hop in there, play, do what he's supposed to do, play as good or better than Fitzpatrick. So we'll see what happens there. 13, we have the Saints, another team pretty inconsistent, obviously not as good as they have been in the past few years. A lot of it on Drew Brees, a lot of it Michael Thomas being an idiot, being suspended. Thomas is hurt again, and yeah, they're pretty banged up. Their defense is not good. So, but, the Saints have that culture. They can win. Have them at 13. 12, we have the Rams, a team who can play inconsistent too. Part of it, I feel like, is there's no novelty in the offense anymore with the way McVay has been running it for the past few years. People are kind of getting used to it. So there are games when they are going to go crazy, like we've seen, and there's games where they play the 49ers and, we're kind of out-schemed, and their novelty plays aren't working as well. And I don't know. I feel like other football fans can notice, maybe coaches can notice that, like, the Rams kind of do things. I will always say, do your scheme, right? But it seems like it's a little complicated. But, what do I know? Just my opinion. Next, number 11, we have the Chargers. I really like the Chargers. The only thing is they're the Chargers and they don't win. They don't have that winning culture. This is why it's so important. They just need to start winning the games. They're right there. They're a good team. They just need to start winning. Herbert's playing well. Just got to finish. Number 10, we have the Bills, who are being bumped back now. Because, Josh Allen is young, he needs to make better decisions, and it's really showing right now when they play good teams. Other than that, they're a really solid team. Number 9, I'm going to have to put the Bucs. Some people have the Bucs higher, but for me, they need to play more consistently like they have, or like we've seen. Against the Packers, I think they just had a really good game. That's part of it, too. They just had a really good game. They just need to play more like that more often, right? And like we've seen this year, there's been games when they've been good, been games when they've been bad. Don't really know which Bucs team you're going to get. I'm hoping they're, starting to get more consistent. Like I said last week, they were looking really good, and then they play the Bears, or 2 weeks ago. So the Buccaneers, a team that I was really excited for this year, very hyped. People thought I was just like overhyping them and whatnot, but they've proven that they can ball out when they need to ball out. So, but they've also shown sometimes they won't play as well as they should. Part of that might have been just the Bears' defense is good, but you can kind of go to both sides on that. But the Bucs at 9, I'm okay with that. Raiders at number 8, I like the way they're playing. So I didn't really check the schedule yet, but the Raiders are playing the Bucs, and I'm really excited for that because they're coming off their win. Focus. And I'm really excited for that game because they're coming off their win against the Chiefs. Raiders, I like the way they've been playing. I this week is going to show really a lot of other people what they're really made of. Big fan of what the Raiders are doing. 7, we'll have the Patriots, who just got upsetted, proving that they're a good team still, but it's not the same Patriots squad. But they had that week off type deal, right? Cam Newton coming back. Sometimes it's hard to win like that. Number 6, we have the Steelers, who, I'll give them some respect. I will. Because they went out there against the Browns and completely proved me wrong. I was wrong about the Steelers. I thought the Browns were going to win, but the Steelers showed that, they are a really good team. I still, they still haven't played anyone really good. So don't be surprised when they play a top team, top 10 team, top 5 team, and, it's a shock. Like, don't get shocked when they're beat. And I think a lot of people would say that they'd be upsetted. Anyways, for the Steelers, I can't wait to see them play against the Ravens. That's going to be so awesome. And I think that's going to be a good tell of how good they are. But this week they have the Titans, a game that a lot of people have been anticipating, and it's the one that was postponed, right? So Steelers and Titans, that's going to be a fun game. I'm going to go with the Titans there. I will not say the Steelers are as good as the Titans, but they're a better team than I've previously said before. Granted, they still haven't played anyone that well. So just, putting that out there. I am aware, I see what everyone's talking about. 5, we have the Packers, who just had a horrible game. Aaron Rodgers was off. Everyone saw that. So you kind of got to put that one in the past. This is still a really good team. Yes, they lost to the Bucs, but that is still a really good team you got to be careful for, especially now after a loss like that. 4, we have the Titans, who, they've made a really big jump. Previously I said, they're hanging in there with teams that they shouldn't be. But the thing about the Titans is previously, years before, right? They hang in with the teams that they shouldn't be, and they lose, sometimes win, sometimes get upsetted, right? But this year they're winning. So that's what's the most impressive to me. It's really hard to, knock them out. They're going to, they work really hard to win the games. Now that I'm saying that, they're probably going to lose this week. But I'm sure you could all tell they just know how to win the games and know how to play together well. And Coach Vrabel is really awesome. Number 3, I'll put the Seahawks there. The Seahawks are another team who know how to win. They have Russell Wilson. They've always been in the mix, so I'll put the Seahawks in number 3. They're playing well. You could argue Titans above them. But I'd have to take the Seahawks over the Titans just because of the culture. The culture is so important. Titans are building that culture, which is really good. But the Seahawks have had that culture. I have a pretty, about the same squad, all the years that they've been in the playoffs, been making runs and whatnot. 2, we have the Ravens. I still think the Ravens are awesome. They've improved their defense yet again. The Ravens are a very, very scary team, even though the Eagles had a chance to actually, take that game away from them. The Ravens are just an unreal team. Number 1, come on, we got to put the Chiefs. If you took the Chiefs out of number 1, you got to be tripping. Just because the Raiders beat them, dude, it happens. That's just part of it. It happens. The Chiefs are just the best team in football still. So yeah, those are my power rankings. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought about them, what I got right, what I got wrong. I love hearing that kind of stuff. I really appreciate you watching all the way to this ending. I'm very excited for the games this week. It's going to be a lot of pretty good football, some games that I'm definitely going to keep my eye on. So, yep, that's it, my friends. I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this. Peace out.